Yeah, hello and welcome to this edition of Alabama Adventure. I have a whole lot that I need to talk to you about and tell you about tonight on this particular adventure. We have received several Bigfoot reports this afternoon through our emails or through the website. And what I like to do is whenever I get a report from somewhere that I'm not familiar with, like a county that's not where a Bigfoot has not been reported yet, and we get one, I like to do a little research into that county. It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with it. I know a little bit about the county when I go to talking to witnesses or the person that sent the report. That's why I like to do some of this background stuff, and that's what I'm going to do now. This particular Bigfoot report that I got today, one of them is from Georgia. And if you remember, we've done a few Georgia videos lately. Although we are the Alabama Bigfoot Society and we do Alabama Adventures, Georgia is our sister state, and we do get reports over there on and off. And I'm very proud that people take time to contact me from Georgia telling me about what they're seeing over there. Once again, it's a white Bigfoot. And if you remember in my last video, I talked a few minutes about why were white Bigfoot becoming more common than what they have been in the past. And I really don't know, but we are getting a lot of white Bigfoot reports. That's what makes me think to a certain degree that they are using portals, that they are a dimensional creature, and they're able to move from one part of the United States or one part of the world, perhaps even one part of the universe to another. And I have had some comments on that from my last video. Do you really believe that there are portals that go from like one planet to another? And I certainly do. I know a lot of people don't believe that there's life on other planets, but that's entirely up to them. I try to be open minded to all ideas that there may be life throughout the universe, which, as a old time UFO investigator and writer, Carl Sagan, said one time, there is life on billions and billions of planets out there. And that's very possible, because if the universe indeed goes on and on and on without a end, how many planets could possibly be out there? And to think that we're the only life in something that is that large as an unending, unlimited universe is pretty arrogant, I think. And I believe that there is life on other planets. I personally believe that there is life here within the earth. I believe that the earth is hollow. That's my opinion, and we all know what Clint Eastwood says about opinions, and that's just the way I feel about it. I've got one, you've got one too. But anyway, as I said, I have a lot that I need to talk about tonight on this particular Alabama adventure, and I'll quit running my mouth and get on to the white Bigfoot sighting over in Georgia. This particular Bigfoot sighting was in Rabun County, Georgia. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Rabun. I'm really not familiar with the county. That's why I'm going to do a little background on it real quick to kind of let you know what the county is, where it's at, and what I found out about it tonight on Wikipedia. Rabun County is the most northeast county in Georgia, and if you will look at this map, you will see it highlighted in red. That's why I like to kind of do this, to kind of give you an idea. Like tonight, we have had white Bigfoot sightings here and there throughout the state of Alabama. And now all at once, well, I have had another white Bigfoot report from Georgia, but now all at once we're getting one over there. And I believe that would be like on the South Carolina line over there that we're getting this particular white Bigfoot report. Anyway, the man said that he saw it this afternoon. It is January the 19th, 2017. Almost said 16, but time is passing on by. Anyway, he said he saw it this afternoon. I won't tell the exact location. He pretty much told me exactly where he saw it, but there are so many people that would like to get out there and kill a Bigfoot, and we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes, about an email that I got from a worldwide radio show that has asked us to be a guest on there, and I'm sure we are very shortly in the future, and talking about killing Bigfoot, which you know that I do not condone killing Bigfoot any way, shape, form, or fashion unless you are attacked by one. And the way that things are happening here in East Alabama, it's very likely that if you get into the woods that you may be attacked by one, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. just a lot I need to tell you about. But anyway, as I said, Rabun County is in Georgia, and it's right here on this map, as you can see. It is located along the Appalachian Mountains, which are also called the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Smoky Mountains, and in the 1700s, because of the large Cherokee Indian population in this particular area, these mountains were called the Cherokee Mountains. There is evidence there of Native Americans long before the Cherokees living there. The mound builders, because within Rabun County there is an Indian mound that is very similar to the mounds at Etowah, Georgia. I have seen a picture of this mound, and I'm going to put it on now. This is Indian mound. Well, it's really not an Indian mound. They really don't know what it is. A lot of scholars and people that are working into these mounds, research and that type of stuff, believe that these mounds were built by a race of giants. And I know a lot of people may sort of cock their head sideways and laugh at that, but I believe that there were giants here at one time, and we have an Indian mound here in the town where I live. A lot of people didn't know that that's what it was for years, but well, it is a mound. I started to say Indian mound. That's what they're called, because the Indians did live around them later on. But the Indians, like the Creek and people, Cherokee people like that, did not build these mounds, or so I have been told by people that know more about the mounds than I do. And I am trying to do some research and learn more about the mounds and that type of stuff. But anyway, there is an Indian mound in Rabun County, Georgia. And as I said, I personally believe that these giants were the people that survived Atlantis when it exploded or sank or whatever happened to Atlantis. I believe that these giants were living there, and they managed to come to the Americas, maybe over toward Africa and into the Middle East, places like that. But we'll get into that in some other video. I just have too much to talk about tonight on Bigfoot and that type of stuff. But in Rabun County was a place called the Dividings, because it was an intersection of three major Cherokee Indian trails. The county seat of Rabun County is Clayton, Georgia, and it was named for Judge Augustine S. Clayton. He was a patriotic person, I guess you would call him. He was a representative and a senator in Georgia, and then was later elected as a U.S. Senator. Two Confederate regiments came from Rabun County during the Civil War, and let me tell you what they were. They were the Rayburn 24th Regiment, Georgia Infantry Company E, Rayburn Gap Riflemen. And the second one that came from there was Rayburn 52nd Regiment, Georgia Infantry Company F, the Beauregard Braves. So that's just giving you a little bit of background and on Rabun County. Something else about it is the Eastern Continental Divide runs through the county, as does the Appalachian Trail. And the Appalachian Trail is only about 25 to 30 miles north of me. So, there's a little connection there, I guess. Rabun County is home of the second and third tallest peaks in Georgia. One is called Rabun Bald, and the other one is called Dick's Knob. Kind of an unusual name, but that's according to Wikipedia. That's what it's called. Both of these peaks are at over 4,600 feet. Something else about Rabun County is part of the Disney movie Old Yeller was shot there. It was the setting for the movie that starred Burt Reynolds several years ago, back in the 70s, Deliverance. A lot of that movie was shot there also, and many local residents were cast in the movie as extras. And if you remember the young banjo player, he was a local resident there whose name was Billy Redden. But now that's just giving you a little bit of background on Rabun County and this white Bigfoot sighting. And as I said, the man said that he saw this white Bigfoot, said it was very wide, very tall, and said he watched it for a pretty good little bit. He said he was within about 250 to 300 feet from this thing, and they looked at each other for a little while. So, as I was saying, the white Bigfoot are getting more common. They seem to be spreading out over the state of Alabama. As I said one time in the last video, there was just a little triangle in north eastern Alabama that was where the Alabama white thing was always spotted when he was spotted. But over the years, over the 10 years that I have had a website and have been researching Bigfoot, he's become more widespread. So that, as I said, makes me think that there's either a white Bigfoot or an albino gene got into the breeding population, or they are indeed coming in here from somewhere else, and it's very possible through portals, or they are dimensional creatures and they can move from one dimension to another. Okay, so now let's move on to the next sighting report that we received about Bigfoot. To this particular report, we come back to Alabama. We received this report from a man in an area pretty close to where I live of a Bigfoot that he believed he spotted. In this particular area, there have been other Bigfoot sightings, as well as the howls have been heard, the wood knocks have been heard, and as I said, there have been other Bigfoots spotted in this particular area. What happened, he had been at work all day. He works outside, I'll just put it like that. And he has a barn that's located just right down below his house, kind of down the hill from where he lives. His house is like sitting on top of a hill, and his barn's kind of, as I said, down the hill toward the pasture and everything. But anyway, what he was doing, he had come in, and his a work truck, he always parked it either in front of the barn, or sometimes he pull it like inside the barn, depending on, I guess, if it was raining or whatever he had on the back end of the truck. But on this particular night, he had just pulled it to the front door of the barn, and of course he has light in the barn, and the lights were on in his house. And he said he had gotten some stuff off the back end of the truck, and his personal belongings or whatever out of a cab, I guess like a thermos or whatever that day, or whatever he had in there. But anyway, he said as he came walking to the side of the truck, headed back toward the house, he just looked up at the hill toward his house, and he has a front porch on his house, and he doesn't have a porch along the side of the house, but he has another back porch that's on the back of the house. So anyway, he said he just glanced up that way, and when he did, the windows on the side of the house are like double windows. They're large windows, and he said, of course, lights were on in the house as his family was in there. And he just said, as I said, he just glanced toward the house as he was about to come that way to come in to eat supper and everything. And he said when he did, he saw this very tall, hairy-looking shadow walk by one of the windows on the side of the house. And he said this thing was at least 8 to 9 feet tall, because the tip of its head went almost to the top of the window out there. And if you knew the house that I was talking about, the windows go up kind of high on it. It's not a two-story house or anything like that. It's just a large farmhouse. And he said this thing just sort of went by the window. He said it really didn't look like it was walking. He said it looked more like it was floating, but it was wide shoulders. He could tell that it had like a cone-like head. He described it as a Bigfoot, and he said that that's what he believed it was. So by it floating or something like that, it could have been walking easily as it walked by the window or whatever. But that also gets back to what I've been talking about the portals and dimensional creature and that type of stuff. It could have been going into one dimension from another, or it could have been coming out of a portal or going into one. Maybe since it looked like it was not actually walking, it was actually floating, was what he described it as. But more than likely it was walking. Up next to the house, he has gravel, and the gravel was very hard. We hadn't had a lot of rain on it lately, and the next morning he said he didn't see any footprints out there. But anyway, to kind of back up what he was saying, just down the road from him a little ways here, a few months ago, a lady that lives at another farm on down the road a little ways reported that she had a Bigfoot to get into her barn. And sort of surprised the Bigfoot when she heard something out there, and her and some other family members, of course, went out to check on what this noise that they were hearing in the barn was one night. And she says as they went into the front doors, the front and the back doors of the barn were open, and she said that a Bigfoot ran out of the barn just about time that they came around the side of the barn and looked in the front door, and it frightened them, of course, and they ran back into the house. I have had other people in that area to report howling in this particular area here a few months ago, maybe last spring, I guess was when it was. A lot of logs were cut in this particular area. I had several people in that area to email me saying that late in the afternoon, about dark, that you could hear the howl that Bigfoot makes. That's become so famous now that you can find that recording just about anywhere on the internet now. Also, in this particular area, not long after the lady claimed that she saw one run out of the barn one night, we had another witness say that he saw one run along a tree line down a pasture one night, one afternoon late, not one night. He saw this Bigfoot running down the a tree line that went along a pasture as he was driving down the road one night. So we have had several reports in that particular area. This particular man says that as he came out of his barn, he saw what he believed was a Bigfoot walking by the window of his living room. Okay, now let's move along to this next segment of Alabama Adventures, getting close to Bigfoot on this particular episode. A few days ago, I received an email from a man named Rob McConnell. He is the creator, host, and executive producer of X Zone Radio and TV show. Now, you may say, what is X Zone Radio and TV show? It is a paranormal talk show, and I have listened to it several times, and I have enjoyed this radio show, TV show. Anyway, he in his email, he invited the Alabama Bigfoot Society, me with along with some members, to be a guest on there in the very near future, and I'm sure that we will be on there pretty soon, especially about what his email concerned that he sent to me. I won't read the email exactly word for word. I will show you this picture that came with it. And if you would like to go to his website, it is www.xzbn.net. And on there you will find pretty much the email that he sent to me in the form of an article that he has on his website. What it is a another Bigfoot group have apparently produced a TV show called Killing Bigfoot. And I do not support that any way, shape, form, or fashion. I do not go along with killing a Bigfoot to prove that they exist. And if you have followed me very much on the videos and on my website, then you will know that the Alabama Bigfoot Society is a 100% no-kill organization. The no-kill is on our second patch that we did, and it is also on our latest patch that we have come out with, like the patch that's on my shirt. It has no kill on there, and I do not go along with killing a Bigfoot at all. Anyway, what I would like for you to do, as I said, go on his website, check out that information. Anyway, this particular group, and I will not call their name or give out their website, because I will not endorse them or acknowledge them in any other way other than telling you what they have done or what they claim they've done, and then what Mr. McConnell emailed me that has happened. This TV series that they have produced will be in 6 episodes, and it will be aired on Discovery, Destination America. There's some other ones, and it has been produced and made by Rogers Media. And I'm not familiar with that because I don't watch very many of the Bigfoot TV shows that come on. To me, that they're all written. They're all just for entertainment. They are not for research or finding out if there is a Bigfoot out there or trying to come in contact with one, as we here at Alabama Bigfoot Society. That is our main concern, is research and learning about these creatures. Anyway, in the past few weeks, I have been in contact with another Bigfoot researcher out in Salt Lake City. And what we are planning on doing, and what we have talked about in numerous phone conversations that have lasted way in the hours of morning, once we get to talking about things and comparing notes and ideas and that type of stuff, we have come up with what we think is a way to communicate with Bigfoot. And that should be the next step, or moving to the next level, should be communication with these creatures rather than trying to hunt one down and kill it. Uh, there is no telling what we might be able to learn from this creature as it lives so close to nature. And that's our objective right now. It's what we're trying to do, is to form some type of communication between us and this creature, not to frighten it and run it out of its homelands and habitat, and to kill it. Yeah, certainly not that. But this organization has very possibly already killed Bigfoot before. I have spoken with some of them. If you remember, a while back on our website, we did a monthly teleconference where anybody could call in and talk about Bigfoot or any paranormal type stuff, tell your encounters or ask questions or anything that you wanted to know, and we would try our best to answer. And these people at this particular organization that have made this TV series got to calling in, trying to harass and upset and make our members and other people on there mad, because that's all they would talk about is killing Bigfoot, killing Bigfoot. We got to kill a Bigfoot to prove that it exists. I don't see that myself, but that's just my opinion, and we all know what Clint Eastwood says about opinion. Everybody's got one. It's just some folks look better than others. But anyway, over the summer, as I was saying, there was this one member, or one person that claimed he was a member with this group, and he emailed me to begin with saying that I claimed on the website and in some of the videos that I had taken hundreds of Bigfoot reports, not only from Alabama but across the United States, in which I have. And he wanted to know why each and every one of those wasn't listed. And I told him that I listed on the website, since I had limited room on there and limited time to do it. I listed the sightings that I felt were important, more important than just seeing one walk across the road. I get a lot of those at, after you just read so many Bigfoot walked across the road from north to south or east to west, it's pretty much established that they can walk across the road. But whenever you go to having one like that's chasing your cows, or you caught one in your barn, or you saw one walk by your window, something like that, that's what I put on there more than I do I saw one walk across the road. But I tried to email him and be nice, but he was a very rude, hateful way of writing his emails, and he just demanded that I give him locations of all my sightings. And I don't give out information like that to anybody, not even some of the members. And I know some of the members get mad at me sometimes whenever they want to know who was it that sent this report in, and I don't tell them. But that's just the way the Alabama Bigfoot site is. It is a confidential site when somebody sends in a report, and that's just the way that I'm going to run it. I want to win your confidence so you can tell me what you need to know. Then I can tell you what I know about your problem or your encounter, and I'll try to help you with it. That's just the way that I was raised, and that's just the way it's going to be. And anyway, he just continuously over the summer harassed me about even wanting GPS coordinates on where certain sightings that I had listed on the website, or I had told about in some of the videos. So it's very possible that they have tracked one down and they have killed one, because in some of the phone conversations that they said, they did say some things that some other people that were that's not in this organization told me happened, and things that they encountered and saw whenever they actually claimed that they shot one. These people were telling the exact same thing that this people in this other Bigfoot organization were telling. So I know that they know what they were talking about, and it's very possible that they have killed one. But we here at Alabama Bigfoot Society do not condone that in any way, and we will not kill one. The only way that I would say to kill one like that is if it attacked you or a family member or a close friend or somebody that was with you, and that was the only way that you could keep it off of you. But anyway, I just wanted to pass that information along to you that there may be a TV show on called Killing Bigfoot. And if you would like to go on this website, as I said, www.xzbn.net, and you can voice your opinion on there. And I appreciate very much you listening to what I had to say about this particular email that I got from X Zone Radio. Okay, and now let's move on to the third segment of tonight's show. This one comes from a young lady who is a Bigfoot researcher in Winston County, Alabama. I have known her for some time through the website, was where I met her. She does a lot of research up there. We do have a lot of women here in Alabama, and I guess throughout the country, that are very interested in Bigfoot and do a excellent job of their research and that type of stuff on Bigfoot. She has sent me numerous pictures and numerous reports on what she's encountered and some other people out of Winston County. I will not give the exact location of where she said this particular encounter happened. I am going to have to quit giving exact locations on the counties. I may have to quit giving counties, but and just say it from Alabama. But anyway, what she says is they have received reports, and they have also encountered numerous wood knocks in this particular area. She said on several occasions they have encountered rock taps and that type of stuff, and that they actually communicated, they believe, with Bigfoot as they would do rock taps and received responses on numerous occasions. And I would like to thank her very much for taking the time to send us her reports, and we do put them on file here and everything. I would very much like to get up to Winston County sometime and to actually meet her and maybe go out on a expedition with her. I passed through Winston County not very long ago on our way to North Alabama, where we did a lecture on signs of Bigfoot for a group up there, what they need to be looking for whenever they're out. But there's no doubt that this young lady knows exactly what to look for, because she, as I said, she has sent me a lot of photographic evidence that Bigfoot does exist in that particular area up in Winston County. Okay, now, as we're bringing this video on to a close night, I've got to get some graham crackers and peanut butter washed down. That's one of my favorite little cookie treats. And Chico, my dog, I know all of you know Chico. Chico is a big vanilla wafer eater. He enjoys all the vanilla wafers he can eat. But anyway, what I wanted to do before we close out this video, I got a little side story, and I have began doing these little side stories or little extra facts or whatever about some of the videos and stuff we do to show you sometime how things are connected here in this life and everything. But anyway, this is a little bit about the movie Deliverance, which was shot in Rabun County, Georgia, that I talked about earlier. What I want to tell you about is some interesting facts about the banjo boy. As I said before, his name was Billy Redden, was his actual name. And this is a little bit of extra information on him and that particular scene that he played in that movie. Whenever he played that particular part, he was 15 years old. And the fact is, he did not play the banjo in that movie. He cannot play a banjo. He couldn't play one then, and he still can't play one until this day. But through special effects and that type of stuff, he looked as though he did actually play the entire song, but I'll get to that in just a moment. But for his part in this movie, he was paid $500, and he has received no royalties after that. And if you will notice, whenever you might Google Deliverance or something like that, it will more than likely pull up him on that porch with the banjo. And as I said, he has received no royalties to this day, or so I read on the internet this afternoon when I ran across this information. And the song is actually is what made the movie for what it was and what it is. Had it not been for that song, I don't believe that movie would have been as popular as it was, even though Burt Reynolds did star in it. And Burt Reynolds was a mega movie star in those days. Billy, when he was in this particular scene on the porch, he was in makeup. That was not the way that he looked all the time, as a lot of people think, because of the part that was in the book that was where the movie came from. But he did have on makeup in the movie to make him look the way he did. And as I said, since he could not play a banjo, he did not play the song in Deliverance, the song Dueling Banjos. In the movie where he sat, there was actually another man that sat behind him who actually played the song. What it was, he reached through the arms of the shirt that Banjo Boy, I guess we'll just call him Banjo Boy, was playing. And this other man's arms are what you saw in the movie, but the way they had it fixed, he had on a baggy shirt, and that was part of the makeup and part of the design to just make it look like he had on this real baggy shirt. So this man behind him that actually played the song could put his arms through the arms of the shirt, and they positioned Billy, and he held his arms in a position where you could not see his. But through the magic of cameras and the magic of movies, it looked exactly like he played this. This other man whose arms you see received absolutely no credit in the movie as for playing the song. Now, the song, which, as I said, I believe actually made the movie so popular, was originally written by a man named Arthur Smith way back in 1955. Back then, he was a very popular, very well known musician. I remember him from coming on early morning on TV in a country music show that he had called the Arthur Smith Show. I can remember whenever I was real little, getting up in the morning to watch this country music show come on. But now Arthur Smith wrote Guitar Boogie, which was a pretty much a country song back then. But it is said by many musicians, it is said by many musicians, however you say it, and people who are in the music industry, that this was actually the first rock and roll song, this Guitar Boogie. And the original name was not Dueling Banjos of this particular song. It was called Feuding Banjos. And in it, the original way the song was played, there were two banjos played. But in an attempt not to pay Smith the royalties off of the movie, that's why they changed the name from Feuding Banjos to Dueling Banjos. But anyway, Smith recognized the song whenever he heard it, and he did have it copyrighted. And it had already been played on the air on the Andy Griffin Show in 1963. It was season 4, episode 5, and it was called Briscoe Darling Declares for Aunt B. And if you want to watch that particular episode, that's what go to YouTube, and well, you're already on YouTube, but just after this video, just go over there and click in the Andy Griffith Show, season 4, episode 5, and it should pull it up. And within about the first 2 to 3 minutes of the episode, you will hear Dueling Banjos, which was originally Feuding Banjos. On this show, it is performed by a bluegrass group called the Dillards. That was their stage name back in those days, and I guess it still is now if they're still playing. They played the Darlings on the show. That was their name on the show. And if you remember, Briscoe Darling was played by Denver Pyle, who later went on to play Uncle Jesse in The Dukes of Hazzard. So anyway, but now what I wanted to tell you, one other thing about Billy Redden, or the Banjo Boy. As I said, he received only $500 for his part in that show. But now, whenever you go in Walmart, think of him, because he works in a local Walmart near where he lives now. So that was just some interesting facts that I thought you might find interesting about the movie Deliverance, and the little boy that played, or that was supposed to play, Dueling Banjos on the movie. And so now, as we bring this video to a close, I would like to tell you that we have been receiving numerous reports from across Alabama, across the South, matter of fact, across the country, of Bigfoot reports since the beginning of the year. Bigfoot reports have really picked up, as well as other paranormal topics have too. Just this morning, I received a Bigfoot sighting report from the state of North Carolina, which is a place that we have not received any information on Bigfoot from. But I do want to say that I appreciate that person up there taking time to send us that report. We want to sort of compare notes on some signs and things that they're running across. Since the beginning of the year, we have received Bigfoot reports from as far away as Nevada and Utah. Bigfoot is on the move for some reason right now, as well as a lot of other paranormal activity as well. I do want to take this time to tell all of you that have taken time to send in Bigfoot reports through the website or have commented on the videos on YouTube that I very much appreciate you taking that time to do that. I enjoy very much reading your comments, your emails, and what's going on with you, and just keep us in mind whenever you do see something like that. So with all that being said, I guess I'd better say hello to my granddaughter Madison and close this video on out, as I always do say hello to her. I also want to tell you that the Alabama Bigfoot Society is run completely out of pocket, and if you can make a donation, or if you would like to make a donation, if you're in a position to where you can, that too would be very much appreciated. All you have to do is to go to our website, alabamabigfootsociety.com, and on the front page you'll find a place to where you can make that donation. And you can either make a donation of money or equipment. And we'll take just about anything as far as equipment, because we have a lot planned that we are about to try to do over the summer whenever the weather kind of breaks. It's been pretty warm here in Alabama over the last few days, but at night it still gets pretty cold, and that's when we get out doing a lot of our investigation. And I have talked with a researcher, as I said, out in Salt Lake City. Hopefully over the summer we will be getting together and try to perform some experiments in trying to communicate with these creatures. So any type of donation that you could pass along would be very helpful to us. If you like this video, I hope you give us a like. And if you like what we're doing down here, I hope you subscribe to the channel. As I said in an earlier video, we are also talking with some people trying to obtain some wilderness land that we can just set aside for Bigfoot, the study and research of Bigfoot. And if you might be in a position to where you're about to leave some land, or would like to donate some land to the Alabama Bigfoot Society, of course it would be tax deductible. Please let us know. And with all that being said, I guess I'll be looking for you next time on the next Alabama adventure, getting close to Bigfoot.